Hey guys, Buffy Game back today bringing out a video, and first of all, Merry Christmas to everybody out there who's celebrating it. Hopefully everybody's having a good, happy holiday, enjoying some downtime with the family. Now today, here we are 2 years after Modern Warfare's release, and I still think the Gunsmith for a console game still has the best and most in-depth weapon customization to date for a console shooter, only rivaled by other games on other platforms like Tarkov or World War III, in my opinion. So, we've had two Call of Duties released since Call of Duty Modern Warfare back in 2019. We've had Cold War and Vanguard, both of which just don't have the substance that I think Infinity Ward brought with Modern Warfare. So today we're going to go through what I believe are at least some of my favorite or the coolest, best weapon conversions that convert the weapon to a completely different weapon, or a nice caliber change, or a really good cosmetic change that make it into another weapon. We're not going to go too much with variants in this video, but this is just some that I made off the top of my head. Kind of wanted to go through and take a look at them. So we go ahead and back out, and we'll start off here, first off with the M4 going to the M16. Now, if there's not a build here that you think should be involved, maybe I forgot something, put it down below. I definitely didn't pick everything here, so there's definitely, I think I probably made well over 100 weapon conversion videos for this game, so there's plenty more out there, but these are just some of the ones that stuck in my mind when I was making this loadout list today. So first off, we'll go with the M4 and converting it to the M16. And first off, you have a lot of different conversions for the M4, but you can see here, if we were to strip this thing down, we'll just start with the base task force build here for the M4A1, and unfortunately, since the latest Vanguard integration, the menus on Modern Warfare are very slow. So we probably won't be doing too much stripping of the parts just because it kind of freezes up here on PS5. I don't know why. Cramming too much stuff into the game, I guess. But first off, you can convert the base M4A1 into the M16, and a few different M16 variants you can have here. Put on the Corvus Custom Marksman tac laser, and then we'll go ahead and put something on like the hammer. Go ahead and put that M16 stock on, and then we'll just go ahead and put a grip on. We have the Stenagmag there with the task force grip. So this is one of our M16A3 lookalikes, or maybe even the A4. You can kind of make a bunch of different combinations with these to mix and match the M16s you want. This one looks really good. We have the Stenagmag there with the task force. Now you can also do something like the M16 Grenadier, and then put on the any of the M203 launchers would bring this into kind of that old M16A2 Grenadier version. And you can also make that with the blueprint that a lot of people may have not gotten. I have a lot of these, but this was Season 1 if you completed it. You got the OG, and this brought this thing in line with the M16A2 Grenadier version. And you can see here, this is the one from Call of Duty 4 right here. And it looks really, really nice there with that classic look. Operation Get Some. So that's the M4, turn it into the M16. You can also do a lot of really cool options with this weapon. Things like if we go ahead and back out quickly, things like the LVAW, or excuse me, the LVOAC, and the Salient Arms Industry Gray Rifle. So if we go ahead and did something like let's go ahead and find it here, which one I want. We can go ahead and do really any of these work. We'll just do this one for now. So you can see we'll take this thing, and we'll do the 14.5-inch barrel, and then we'll do the zip tie barrel. This is going to give us that LVOAC, or the Salient Arms Industry Gray Rifle build. So obviously we have probably not the best blueprint for this, but that particular barrel option gave us a really nice looking build. We'll go ahead and fix this up just a little bit so you guys can see, in case you didn't see this when we originally did the video. We'll deselect that. We'll just go with we'll go with a different buttstock option here. Let's see. So the base buttstock for this one would be the Salt mod. Try something like the Task Force. And there we go. So pretty cool looking rifle there. Go ahead and we can throw something like a 60 round on there, casket mag. And that's kind of our Salient Arms Industries Gray Rifle. But you can see, obviously, the menus are loading so slow, so I won't be building too many of these. But a lot of options here with the M4. You can do things like an ISR, integrally suppressed rifle, with the M4 as well. So a lot of different options for converting the M4 to the M16. The SAI, Salient Arms Industries Gray Rifle, LVAW, or the LVOAC, excuse me. You can also do things like the ISR with the integrated suppressed barrel, and you can also convert it to the Colt 9mm SMG version. So a lot of different options there. Moving along, we'll go with the PKM conversion to the PKP Petrinage. So if you've been following the channel, obviously you know this is one of my favorite all-around weapons in the game. And by using the standard issue blueprint, we get the Zeneco cosmetic attachments for the PKM. We get that Zeneco buttstock. We get the Zeneco B33 Sport handguard. Probably not a B33. I forgot the actual designation of that. We have the RK2 foregrip on there that's canted mounted. And we have just the all-around Zeneco look. If we went ahead and did the base barrel here, you can see it will give us the full Zeneco handguard on top and bottom. And then with that conversion to the 25.9-inch heavy, we obviously get that carrying handle in the front for the PKP Petrinage. So converting the old PKM to the PKP Petrinage, and obviously the PKM in game is using that old wooden version of the PKM. If we went ahead and just looked in the armor, you can see if it's going to load here for us. Again, like I said, it is very slow with the Vanguard integration, but you get the old wooden PKM. So converting it from an original PKM all the way to the PKP Petrinage with the Zeneco attachments just looks really, really pretty. Next up, we'll go ahead and look at the SIG MCX Rattler. So this one, just using, you could use any blueprint with this, but basically the Tempest Mini, you want the short stuff blueprint, and I think there's one other in here for the handguard, but again, like I said, they're not loading. So the short stuff barrel changes the handguard up from the default barrel to more of the Rattler type handguard on this weapon. And then we'll have things like the 5 milliwatt, just a standard holographic, do the 300 blackout rounds. This can also be still a Rattler with the 5.56x45 NATO, and then just the Ranger foregrip on it. This converts this from the Sig Sauer MCX Virtus to the Sig Sauer MCX Rattler, which is a beautiful looking weapon. Again, using a combination of ammo conversions as well as blueprint options for the handguard to convert this weapon. Different barrel lengths, things like that allow us to make a completely different weapon here, or it is in a sense a completely different weapon than the Virtus. However, it is by MCX Sig Sauer as well. So this is the MCX Rattler, another really good conversion there. That's a lot of fun to use in multiplayer specifically. Backing out, we'll go to the AKs. So the base AK-47 in-game is the old original AK-47 that was rolled out of production in 1947-48. And you can see it's the old wooden, really bad looking one there. However, it does indeed have a dovetail mount on there. So they did a lot of mixing and matching with this rifle, but we can make a really cool conversion, a couple of really cool conversions here. And the one we'll go with here is the AK-74M. So using different blueprints here in game, being the, if we go ahead and look, the main one I like, if you don't want a camouflage on there, would be, you could use the steel curtain, but mainly you want the Warsaw, and this gives you all polymer. So you can have the AK-100 series and the AK-74M series. You can see it's all polymer handguard, buttstock, pistol grip, everything like that. For this version, we're going to go ahead and put a camo on there, but you can see tactical suppressor is that PBS-1 suppressor that the Russians use. We have the Zeneco B33 handguard for the AKs, the Spetsnaz Elite. A Viper optic, we convert this from a 7.62 by 39mm AKM, AK-47, AK-103 calibered weapon into the AK-74 series, chambered at 5.45 by 39mm, and then we'll go ahead and put that Ranger foregrip on there. So this is the AK-74M. You could also do something if you really wanted to get rid of the, you could get rid of the underbarrel attachment, and then you have the stock option for the close quarters with the Team Hoda. And we go ahead and do that, and let's see if it's going to load for us here. And you get a really nice AK-12 style buttstock on there, looking really pretty for an AK-74M build here, converting the old AK-74 or 47 to the 74M version. So you can obviously make a bunch of different ones, like the AKS-74U, the RPK with this weapon, but that's a really cool one that I thought with the 5.45 by 39mm conversion and turning it into a more modern looking weapon. Next up would be turning the Odin or the Ash 12 into the VKS Russian sniper rifle. So this thing, by converting this into, taking it from the assault rifle version to the sniper rifle build, we'll use the Colossal suppressor. We'll short this barrel down to the shortest option being the 420. That way we don't have a gap between the handguard and the suppressor. And then we'll go ahead and do the sniper scope. Just go ahead for aesthetic reasons, put on the Force Tac ballistic pack, and then the bipod there. And this is our VKS sniper rifle firing that large 50 12.7 millimeter, but 12.7 by 55, I believe it is, Russian round. This is a heavy hitter in real life. In real life, it is not semi-automatic. You need to charge it each round, but here in game, again, we can replicate it almost perfectly. This was one of the more interesting and I think well thought out conversions by Infinity Ward. Just putting in a lot of, you can tell a lot of thought went into this, because the VKS is a weapon that made an appearance, I believe, in Call of Duty Ghosts, and to replicate it with weapons that are in game, turning the Odin, which is very similar to the VKS. If you look at it in real life, there are some minor differences, but it does a really good job of replicating it here. And Infinity Ward definitely put a lot of time and effort into thinking about how they're going to approach weapon conversions and variants in the game. It really shows with this VKS. Next up, we'll go ahead and back out, and first off, we'll just look at the VSS-M. So turning the ASVAL, which is a fully automatic assault rifle or a special purpose rifle, into the, again, a sniper variant weapon, the VSS-M. So very interesting weapon here, the modernized VSS Venturas, and we have the right buttstock on there. You can also, ideally, this barrel option wouldn't really be a real life option, so we could take that off, and then it would kind of just be, this would be our build, the VSS-M variant of this weapon. ASVAL and VSS are very similar. We'll have that VLK Strelick buttstock on there for the M variant, that modernized buttstock. Looks really pretty, and then the conversion with the ammo to the SPP 10-round magazine, which is the sniper rounds, which give it much more higher bullet penetration. Next up, going to the Mark 20 SSR. So coming out of the VKS, another assault rifle conversion to a sniper rifle variant would be the SCAR converted to the Mark 20 SSR. So sniper support rifle. This is going to convert it using the mainly aesthetic reasons, but it's going to have the 20-inch barrel from the base, which is going to be around a 16. Put on the tac laser, sniper optic, or you could even put on the variable, which we have here. However, I think with the sniper optic, it'll even look probably a little bit cooler. Let's go ahead and see what that looks like. So actually, that looks worse. So we want the variable zoom on there. It looks really nice. Put on that Mark 20 SSR buttstock, which is the XRK Obelisk Pro. And then we'll go ahead and use the base 7.62 by 51 millimeter NATO box magazine and put on the bipod foregrip. And this is our Mark 20 SSR, the FN SCAR Mark 20 sniper support rifle. Really nice build, and this was actually very, very effective in the early days of Warzone. I used this thing very successfully in those early days of Warzone. That first couple months, this thing was definitely working very well in Warzone. Backing out the MP5K. So throw in one submachine gun here, the MP5. You can make a lot of different conversions with this one. However, this is one that actually changed the name of the weapon in game. And when you built this conversion in the game, it would show as an MP5K when you were running around and swapping out weapons. So you can see, put on the mini barrel option there, 5mm laser, put on just any generic optic, the collapsed buttstock, and just any foregrip. In this case, the Ranger foregrip. Converted this to the compact version of the MP5 or the MP5K. Now, there's definitely some issues with the handguard and the barrel length here. However, they did a pretty good job of making this look just about accurate. In real life, the barrel would be a little bit shorter and it wouldn't end, the handguard would not extend out past the barrel. But again, it's just a really cool conversion, especially because it changed the actual name of the weapon in-game. It was pretty cool. Backing out, next up we'll look at the M249 Saw, or the Bruin, and convert this into the Para version of the Saw. So you can see here by putting on the Bruin 18-inch Para barrel, we'll convert this down to the Paratrooper variant of the M249. And then really you can put on anything from there. So here we're going to just use a tac laser, the integral hybrid or the hammer sight, operative foregrip, and then I just put on a G28 compensator. Obviously this would work better in multiplayer. In Warzone you would want to suppress it, but this thing, again, when this thing dropped in Warzone, this was pretty much my build I used in Warzone when the Bruin came out once I leveled it up, and this thing was just an animal. Obviously people found the meta Bruin build, which was really just extremely OP, but this build was a lot of fun to use, and it was never ever a meta weapon or a meta build of the weapon, and I used it very, very successfully in Warzone when this thing was released. Next up, the MCX MR. This was an interesting one just because of the aesthetic appeal to it. I think the visual representation, then the MCX MR was a failed entry by Sig Sauer into the, I believe it was some sort of sniper bid program for an SSR, an SSASR, whatever their acronyms are. But this was a failed attempt by Sig Sauer. However, you can replicate it here very, very aesthetically with this Sandblaster blueprint here, and it was basically gave you the exact build that you would need. Put on the tactical suppressor, the Tempest Marksman, which is that 20-inch barrel, tac laser, sniper scope, and the bipod, which replicates the MCX MR almost perfectly, and it just looks very, very aesthetically nice. This is a good thing about Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Infinity Ward. They made a lot of blueprints which changed the weapon in itself to look like something else. They reskin the weapons with cool things like this, which I really, really appreciate. This thing looks awesome. If only it were effective in Warzone. But again, you could definitely get away with this in multiplayer for sure, especially hardcore. It'd be very, very effective. So the MCX MR. Next up, last but not least, the DSA 58 OSW. So taking the generic FAL. If we go ahead and just look at the old FAL that they have here in the game, you can see it's the original FAL. Not a big fan of how this thing looks aesthetically. However, with different blueprint options here, you can convert it to the DSA 58 OSW. So that's the Daniel Savago Arms 58 Operational Specialist Weapon. So just a beautiful looking weapon. You can see upgrades the entire handguard. You have full-length Picatinny rail on the top. Picatinny's on the top, bottom, left and right of the handguard as well. Modernized handguard. Put on that one suppressor there to make it look more westernized. However, they used to have the mono suppressor. Used to be the right suppressor for this weapon. And then for some reason they changed it to a PBS4 Russian suppressor. It's not going to load there, but you can see there it is, a Russian suppressor. So if we go with the tactical suppressor or even the light suppressor, be more of an aesthetic appeal. The tactical suppressor worked pretty well on this. That's the only one I would run when I use this. 13-inch OSW para barrel option. Do a 4x flip, 30-round magazine, and a Ranger foregrip. This thing just devastates up close. Very, very good if you have a good trigger finger. Even very effective in Warzone. I had some really good games with this back when I would use it on Verdansk. So this thing is very, very effective. Let me know down below if I missed anything here. There's definitely honorable mentions would be something like, you all know if you're a fan of this channel, my favorite weapon would be the SIG LVAW. This is probably all time in this game my go-to weapon. Whenever I'm having trouble, specifically in Warzone, this thing is my go-to. This thing always will perform well no matter what. The 6-hour LVAW, the light, low visibility assault weapon. Very beautiful weapon there. And then there's other things really quick I just want to mention, like if we look at one more here, would be the MG36 by using the, which blueprint was it? The Necrosis blueprint. You get a much nicer version of the G36 that does not have the full-length carrying handle, and it has a broken carrying handle there, or I forgot what they call it, but this is actually a real-life conversion for this weapon, or an upgraded version of the G36, and you can convert this with a full-length barrel here. You can do things like turn it into a G36 KA4, which also looks very, very pretty, and just a really, really cool-looking conversion with this. So let me know down below what you guys think of these weapon conversions. Which ones did we cover in this game previously that you think of most when you think of weapon conversions for Call of Duty Modern Warfare? Let me know down below. And again, Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays. Till next time, Buffner Gaming, out.